Hello and welcome to EBADay 2019 in Stockholm. I'm Hannah Wallace, and kindly joining me now in the TV studio is Isabelle Olivier, Head of Securities and Payments Initiatives for EMEA at SWIFT. Hello Isabelle, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, good morning.
Good morning. So the first thing I want to talk to you about, it's a real big topic of discussion at EBADay, is how rapidly the payments landscape is changing. So to start off, could you highlight the drivers behind this for us?
I think the very first driver is the new customer demand. We, as customer of banks, want payment to be invisible. We want payments to happen everywhere, easily, in a cheap manner. And I think the institutional customers do want the same. And that forces banks to review a bit the way they are organized, the way they use the new technologies to actually meet these new demands, the way also they play with new type of competitors that somehow have been facilitated also by some regulations like PSD2 in Europe. And last but not least, the market infrastructures used by the banks and the financial institutions are going through a major revamp, a renewal of platforms, both on the high-value payment side, RTGS is adopting ISO 20022, but also on the instant payment side, which is now becoming, I would say, a new normal in more and more countries. So all these drivers together actually forces banks to really evolve fast to meet these new challenges.
Mm-hmm. And there's also some opportunities amongst those challenges. But could you tell me a bit about the Eurosystem's target consolidation project? What's the impact here and how is that fitting in with everything else that's happening?
Yes, indeed. The Eurosystem has announced a number of changes. The most important one, I would say, is the T2S consolidation project that will happen as a big bang in November 2021. Target 2 will completely be renewed. They will move to ISO 20022, what we call fully fledged, i.e. they will use all the functionalities of the new messages. They will also move from a wide copy environment to a V-shaped environment, forcing banks to really review the way that they interact with Target 2. At the same time, they will introduce new functionalities and services across all Target services. Target 2, Target 2 Securities, but also TIPS, the instant payment platform. They will introduce, for instance, a new liquidity management procedure and functionalities, a new CLM, and they will also introduce a new gateway through which the European financial institution will be able to access all these target services. For that, actually, they've issued a tender, and SWIFT has been awarded one of the two licenses to operate, i.e. to give access to these target services going forward. This project is very much linked as well with the migration of the payments and reconciliation messages, the so-called many-to-many or cross-border migration to ISO 20022. Why is that so? Actually, 32% of all Target 2 transactions, so the payments settled on Target 2, are either coming from the cross-border rail or actually going after Target 2 into the cross-border rail. So there is a very, very important link between these two projects. That means that the banks have really to start their project now, look at all the impacted applications to make sure that they're ready on time, because Target 2, again, the migration is happening as a big bang, so there is no plan B. They really need to be ready on time. And that has huge impact on the systems, on the way that the bank is operating, but also on the strategy that they want to bring forward. It's probably the right opportunity to look at opportunities to serve smaller banks for which that project could be too big, or also opportunities to look at decisions made some time ago on the T2S side, where again there could be an opportunity to grab or exploit the developments done on the T2 side also for T2S. So, big project, quite high risk, but at the same time also some opportunities to look at.
So there's a lot of changes to be taking into account then. What's SWIFT doing to help its customers through all this change?
So as I mentioned before, we have been awarded one of the two licenses, so we will be able to keep on performing, I would say, the service that we've been doing for our customers for years, i.e. allowing them to use our network services to access Target 2, T2S, tips. So I think that's a very important milestone. We'll make sure that in their project, in their T2, T2S consolidation project, that level of risk is taken out. So we will facilitate somehow the migration by, again, allowing our customers to reuse the SWIFT infrastructure and services they know and they trust to access these future services. At the same time, we have also developed a number of products and services to even facilitate further that migration. And that goes into the integration layer, that also goes into the testing. So we have developed a testing service end-to-end, which will open more than 6 months before the official testing of the Eurosystem, allowing them again to test as soon as they are ready without waiting for the test of the Eurosystem. And last but not least, we will also, and we are already delivering a number of consulting services, both on the standard side, on the business side, but also on the technical side, to allow customers understanding the impact and developing the right project plan with the right tools and products to make it happen on time.
I think it's safe to say some really interesting developments ahead then as well. Isabelle, thank you so much for sharing your insights. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.